So let's have a short little discussion about font colors. As you can probably imagine, they are an important part of corporate branding, but we don't need to add every font color into the font color cycle. For instance, we already have access to blue and black by using the blue-black toggle. And this is another great opportunity to practice that keyboard shortcut. We could highlight these labels here and hit Control semicolon to toggle between blue and black. So for us, it didn't make too much sense to add blue and black into this particular cycle. Instead, what you can see is we've added in a dark orange and also a white. So let's see where we can make changes to these colors. And you may have guessed that we're going to head up into Settings and Configure. Down the left-hand side, we'll click Colors, and we can see the font colors right across the top. Now you may be looking for a minus sign over here to take out some of these existing font colors. In fact, what we're going to do, for example, to remove the black, we can just click on it and we can say no color, okay, and that will remove it. We have the white here, we're going to make use of that, but let's remove some of these other ones like the red. Let's remove this purple, for example, and we're going to remove here the green. And then finally, we're going to take the remaining blue and we're going to change it up to this dark orange at the top of our palette here. And then we can click OK and again, OK. All set. Now, one important thing to remember with these colors is that we have all of these colors over here assigned as auto colors to mark very specific things which are happening in cells. So what we generally use these extra font colors for over here is for labeling, as we've indicated. Let's hop into the next video now and talk about fill colors, which can be incredibly useful. We are constantly using the fill color shortcut in Macabacus. We really find them useful for labeling, but also for marking up files. Often we'll want to mark an area that we need to follow up on later, or an area that we need somebody else to check or review. As noted just down here, the keyboard shortcut for fill colors, Control-Shift-K, is also really easy to remember. K for colors. It's also easy to reach. And if we look down at these fill colors, we find we're most often using fill colors for markup. So we put these two orange colors at the beginning because we use them most frequently. The next most common thing that we're often doing in our files is labeling. And you can see here, we're using these two blues for labeling purposes, so we put them behind the orange colors, which we use the most frequently. Finally, we have a fifth color here, which we're using for shading. In fact, you may have seen some nice gray shading like this in this particular Excel file. So let's check out where we can configure these settings, and we're going to click Configure. Down the left-hand side to colors, we can see there's already 5 fill colors installed. We're just going to change the RGB codes. So let's click the first one, and we're going to select this light orange. Remember, we're using this for markup. Click OK. Second one is also for markup, so it's also an orange, but it's going to be this darker orange. We're going to click OK to that one as well. Now let's put in a couple of light blues and dark blues for labeling purposes. So the third color here is going to be this blue right here. We're going to click OK to that. Then we're going to get a darker blue right at the top. Okay. And finally, for the fifth color, we want to put in this nice shading color here, which is a gray. We're going to click OK there, OK down to this box, and OK here. We're all set. What might be fun now is to just do a quick check and practice our keyboard shortcuts. So we could go right into this gray cell here, Control-Shift-K once, twice, 3, 4, and 5. Looks like it's working perfectly. Let's jump ahead into the next video. We're going to talk about border colors, which is one of those settings that's so hard to get to in Excel, but Macabacus makes it really easy. Now let's get the settings for border colors all configured. And it may sound a little bit dorky to hear us saying this, but being able to quickly cycle through different border colors is an absolute game changer in terms of formatting and also corporate branding. Let's hop in and take a look at how it works. Now, the first thing that we want to do here is practice a keyboard shortcut that we've already learned. If we look into this section on border colors, we're not going to use the shortcut right here, which is showing. We're going to use the Control-Shift-7 shortcut, which is the shortcut for the border style cycle. So let's now scoot down to these cells. In the first cell, Control-Shift-7 once, now twice, and 3 times. Now we want to do the same thing with the second row. So to the first entry, we'll hit Control-Shift-7 once, now twice, and 3 times. So what we've done is we've effectively put in just black borders. Now let's suppose that we didn't have Macabacus and we wanted to change the border color here. We could hop into this cell, tap the Alt key, and now up here, we would tap H to get the home menu. Now we could tap B here for borders, and then we'd need to get to the bottom of the border menu, which is M. It brings up this dialog box. Now we need to get down to change the color. So we're going to hit the tab key twice, use the down arrow to select a new color from the color palette and hit enter. Now we've switched the color, but we haven't changed the existing borders yet. Now we're going to use the tab key and move over with the arrow, hit enter, and we've finally changed the border color. Let's escape out, and I think that you can see why people don't usually change border colors without a piece of software like Macabacus. So let's see just how easy this is to do in Macabacus. We're going to go up to the Macabacus section of the ribbon here, under Settings, Configure. You can see our CFI palette already. We're going to go down to the side under Colors and make use here of the border colors. There's 4 in the cycle. We're only going to have 2 in our cycle at CFI. So we're going to click the 4th one and say no color. 3rd one also no color. And then for the first color, we're going to select this blue right here from the palette. Click OK. Second color is going to be this orange right at the top. We're going to click OK. And now OK here and another OK. We're all set with the proper settings. So now with the settings configured, let's go right back to the top. Take a look at this shortcut. Control-Alt-Shift single quote. So we're going to highlight across here for these first borders, hit that shortcut once for blue, and now for the second one, hit it twice for orange. Super fast. So as we mentioned, border colors are likely something that you haven't thought of before, largely because it's just too hard to make changes to border colors in Excel. But now that you have Macabacus, start thinking outside of the box about where you can add nice border colors in to really take your formatting up to the next level. Let's hop into the next video. We'll see you there. We hope that you've enjoyed the Macabacus Quick Start Guide. Remember that there are tons of settings and lots to configure within the software. But what we wanted to focus on here in this course are the really common and crucial settings that you need to configure right away just to get yourself up and running quickly. We hope to see you in some of the other Macabacus courses, where we're going to use the settings that we've configured to really put the software to work and get some things done for us. As we explore some of the more nuanced and advanced features within the software, there are some additional settings that we will configure along the way as we go. We also hope that you enjoyed taking a peek at the settings that we use at CFI. We use those in our financial modeling guidelines document and across all of our financial models, which are built to the highest possible industry standards. If you feel like you missed any of the steps along the way in this course, or you'd just like to have a clean copy of those settings that we use at CFI, then we're going to make an XML file available to you at the end of this course that has all those settings embedded in it. Once you have that XML file saved down to your computer, it's very easy to import into Macabacus. You just head up here to Settings and click Import, and then click this button, Import Settings from an XML file. The other important thing to remember is the keyboard. It will really help you unlock so much efficiency, especially when you're working in an Excel environment. And also remember that there's a lot of resources to help you learn the keyboard. If we go up here into Settings, under Keyboard, under Print, there's a couple of different options that we could click on. Or we could go up to the Shortcut Manager, which of course brings up this panel and can really help you learn a lot of the great shortcuts that are offered in Macabacus. Now, through the course, we encouraged you to work in an Excel environment, and it would be a great idea to continue to go into this Excel file to practice these keyboard shortcuts. But remember, it can be easily printed out. If we go into a print preview again, you can see page 1 and page 2. Might be a great idea to print out this document and keep it on your desk close by, again, so you can learn and practice all of these critical keyboard shortcuts. The other thing to note is that we worked almost exclusively in Excel in this particular course, but Macabacus offers so much power in terms of efficiency and brand compliance in PowerPoint and in Word. We're going to start to investigate some of the amazing things that Macabacus can do in PowerPoint and Word in the subsequent courses when we start exploring actual use cases and really putting the software to work. We can't wait to get started. We'll see you there.